Good Thursday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where Zetavo soybeans are transforming the approach to soybean seed decision-making with trailblazing innovation and quality without compromise. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg reporting. Under mostly clear skies, I've got a temperature of 66 degrees on the barn thermometer. Looks like it should be dry for the better part of the day, a welcome change from the last couple. This quick calendar reminder, you're going to want to be sure to visit the Henry County Fair. It runs August 13th through the 20th in Napoleon, Ohio. Experience the livestock shows, truck and tractor pulls, tomato festival parade and pageant, and harness racing and more. Check out all the details at henrycountyfairgrounds.com for a full schedule of events. Be sure to tune in Friday during middays as I'll be broadcasting from the Henry County Fair thanks to Ag Credit and New Concept Realty. Then turn into our midday programming on Monday as we'll get an update from the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association about the great work being done to represent Ohio's grain farmers at the state and national levels. Let's get a quick check on the news feed and what's making agricultural headlines at ohioagnet.com. Nearly 700 members of Ohio's agriculture community gathered back on August 7th at the Ohio State Fair to celebrate the 60th Ohio Agricultural Hall of Fame breakfast and welcome 4 new members into the Hall of Fame. The Diamond Anniversary celebration honored John Grimes of Hillsboro, Ohio, Dr. L.H. Newcomb from Hilliard, Nancy Patterson of Chesterland, and Sparky Wilnow of Milan for their lifelong contributions to Ohio agriculture. You can read more about this today at ohioagnet.com. You can also get the latest updates on the Ohio Field Leader Crop Tour. It is day 2 of the South Leg, so the 4th day of the tour, and follow the group along as they post regular updates with what the crop conditions are and yield estimates. All this, as well as the latest in markets and weather, online today at ohioagnet.com. And a reminder, today's news feed was delivered to you by Eberts Field Seeds, delivering proven local seed performance to Ohio farmers. It's time to start planting Eberts. Call us at 937-473-2521 or visit us online at ebertseeds.com. That's EBBERTS seeds.com. It's time now to get a check on the weather forecast. Today's weather update brought to us by Seed Genetics Direct, the #1 fastest growing and largest Ohio-based independent seed company.
No change in our forecast. We are warm, we are humid, and we are damp. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at that Ohio Ag Weather Update. Your Thursday looks just like prior days this week. Showers and storms working through the Buckeye State. Now, it'll have a little bit of a pause here to start the day, and then midday afternoon showers ramp back up. Strong thunderstorms overnight tonight into tomorrow, and then we'll see a long tail with lingering showers tomorrow afternoon and evening. More showers and thunderstorms into early Saturday morning, not necessarily reaching strong to severe levels, but plenty of moisture around. And it looks like right now we take a pause on Sunday with moisture heading up into Michigan for that day. Overnight Sunday night, Monday, though, showers come back south, moving into Ohio with another good round of moisture, and that lingers through Tuesday. Then we take a break for Wednesday and Thursday with rain coming back late in the week and weekend. So plenty of moisture around, still probably too much here in the nearby. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, let's check in now with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work. And this update coming to us from the field with the Field Leader Crop Tour. Here's Joel.
Joel Penorwood here for the Ohio AgNet. Hey, we just wrapped up our first day of the southern leg, the 2026 Ohio Crop Tour, brought to you by Field Leader, a project of the Ohio Soybean Checkoff. Joining us, one of our members, Bennett Musselman. He's from Pickaway County. He's also president of the Ohio Soybean Association, as chance would have it. But also, Bennett, let's talk about how today went. What's your recap? What's your thoughts?
Well, we started out really good, and then we got into a rain system that just kind of stalled, and we got wet all day long, so that was interesting. But from a crops perspective, I thought there was a lot of consistency. As we moved north in the state, yields were struggled a little bit. I think they were later planted up there. And as we started making our way back south, we got some higher numbers on the corn, not necessarily the soybeans, but we did on the corn. So
the really good yields surprised me, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had some really high numbers, but our lows weren't that terribly low.
Yeah.
Like we would probably see in the years past. So, I don't think even the fields that we didn't check just driving, I don't think we've seen a really bad field of any crop.
Tomorrow we venture more into the southeast Ohio side of things. What are you looking out for there?
Yeah, I think they got planted a little earlier than maybe some of the areas that we were in today. So I would anticipate we would see some higher soybean yields than what we did today. And the corn is probably going to stay consistent.
It'll be interesting. Stay tuned to all those stops. Stop by stop, we'll give you pictures and updates of what our expected yield estimates are. And of course, we're wrapping it all up with the hometown tour coming up tomorrow evening. Joining us, Bennett Musselman. He's one of the attendees on the southern leg of the Ohio Crop Tour. I'm Joel Penorwood for the Ohio Ag Desk.
And thanks, Joel. Hopefully a little bit more dry weather, at least to get the day started for you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
What's better than getting the trusted farm news you count on from Ohio's Country Journal? Having a chance to win a brand new Arctic Ultra Tough cooler. The Ohio's Country Journal sweepstakes are back. Subscribe or renew your subscription today, and you'll be entered for a chance to win one of two 45-quart Arctic Ultra Tough coolers. Just visit ocj.com/renew for official rules and to complete your subscription or renewal for your chance to win. Ohio's Country Journal, your source for Ohio farm news.
Welcome back on the Ohio AgNet. I'm Joe Everett. Today I'm joined by Mark Eilerman, an independent agronomist with New Ag Horizons. And Mark, we still have a lot of this growing season yet to go, but farmers are already planning for next year. What are some of the things growers should be looking at as we move towards the 27 growing season?
I'd say a lot of the same things as every year. Cost of fertilizer. How much is this going to cost me? It costs too much. I'm not getting enough for my grain. All the normal stuff. With fertilizer cost, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, phosphorus costs way too much. We all know that. Are the tariffs on Canada, or are they off again? Who knows with that? It seems like that changes month to month. Manure is a big one here anymore. I've got a lot of clients using any and all kinds of manure for their fields. Usually it's a discounted price compared to commercial fertilizer. There are some negatives to it, such as possible compaction and weed seeds, but many times, I'll have conversations with guys. Is this poultry litter worth it? Is this hog manure worth it? Well, you got a manure sample? What's that? What's a manure sample? Well, it tells you what's actually in the manure. Yeah, I can pencil all that stuff out and see, how much more phosphorus and potassium stuff you're getting with the manure to compare it to commercial fertilizer. Is this hog manure worth 2 cents a gallon? Is this poultry litter worth $55 a ton? The manure analysis is extremely important to have, just to know how much water is in that chicken manure, how much water, how much nutrients is in that hog manure. It all changes, trust me, particularly on poultry litter. Yeah, the guy down the road may be selling chicken litter to you for $51 a ton. The next guy down the road may be selling it for $55. But if the guy selling it for $55 is at a 80% solids, and the guy at $51 a ton is at, say, 65% solids, that's a tremendous difference in nutrient concentrations.
You mentioned how many more guys are going to using manure versus commercial fertilizer. What would you say the percentage of the guys that you work with are staying commercial or going more manure, or a mixture of both?
I'd say kind of a mixture of both. It just kind of depends on how close they are to a livestock operation. If they're located in Mercer County, Darke County, where there's birdhouses all over the place, or if they're out in Logan County, where there's not much of anything. Depends on what the trucking is going to cost there too. Say like an average analysis. And there again, when you get that sample, try to understand what type of animal it's coming from. Is it coming from a layer house that is cage free? So there's chances that you may have a lot of bedding in there. Is it coming from a caged house where there's going to be obviously no bedding? Is it a hog farm, but is it from a nursery? Is it fat pigs? Is it weaner pigs? At least have that background knowledge behind it. That way we can have a general idea of what we're looking at when we get all the fancy numbers back.
Do you have any last minute advice for farmers as they look into the next year's growing season?
I think the biggest thing to look at going into next year and any future year, know where your break-even point is. Understand all your costs going into that crop, your honest costs, not some stuff you made up and threw down on a piece of paper. Where can you sell your corn or beans or wheat at and be profitable? Go from there. And as you're doing that, you look at your budget. Oh, I'm spending this much here. Can I trim that back? And type of stuff. I think that's the most important thing, especially this younger generation starting out. You got to know where you're at financially, because let's all face it, there's going to be a day of reckoning here coming at some point in time. So that's probably the most important thing.
My guest has been Mark Eilerman with New Ag Horizons, and thank you for your time today.
Not a problem. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Well, let's check in now with Allison Kinney as she has an update on some programming opportunities for no-till farmers.
Are you a part-time no-till farmer? Maybe you no-till soybeans, but still make a few tillage passes ahead of corn, or perhaps you rotate between several years of no-till and conventional tillage. If that sounds like your operation, Ohio No-Till has several upcoming events that could help improve both your bottom line and your soil health. With machinery and fertilizer costs continuing to challenge farm budgets, these programs offer practical ideas and real-world experiences from farmers who have seen success with no-till systems. Upcoming events include From Dirt to Healthy Soil on August 15th at the Mac Burkholder Farm near Lima, Decades of No-Till History and the Future of Soil Health on August 18th at Ohio State ATI in Worcester, and Cover Crops and Soil Health on August 27th in Wood County. For more information and the latest event details, visit the Ohio No-Till website or check out their Facebook page. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Allison Kinney reporting.
Thanks, Allison. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
The way farmers get their information is expanding, and now there's a new dimension of farm news for the Buckeye State. Ohio AgNet TV. Learn from other farmers, see products and practices in action, and stay connected to what is happening both locally and nationally. Plus, watch expanded video coverage throughout the growing season and beyond, with regular updates from the field and stories that highlight the people, issues, and innovations driving Ohio agriculture. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe now on YouTube by searching Ohio AgNet TV, where Ohio agriculture comes to life.
Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company in Upper Sandusky. Opening to receive soybeans starting September 1st, Ohio farmers plan to get your RFID tag the week of August 24th from 8 to 5. For more information, call 419-731-7100.
Grain markets finished mostly higher on Thursday. It was USDA report day. That's pretty much all we're going to talk about here. Some surprises in the report, and mostly they had to do with corn. Now, beans finished nice and strong as well, but corn had the biggest jump, finishing a strong at almost 20 cents higher on the day. Double digits higher through most of the afternoon. Here's what happened on corn. Yield dropped to 180.7. That's down 3.1 bushels from last year. Planted acres went up about 1.5 million, or rather 1.5% from what we saw prior on the estimate, but that is still down 2 million plus acres from last year. This really kind of brought down the carryouts more than expected. Indiana numbers on corn, yield going up 1% from last year. Ohio not necessarily in the same boat, though. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look now at how your markets closed yesterday. This market recap brought to you by FS Envision and High Soy. Seed made for this ground. Learn more at fsc.com/Ohio. September corn closed the day up 20 1/4 cents, while December corn was up 20 1/4 cents as well. September soybeans closed the day up 13 3/4 cents, while November new crop beans were up 14 1/2. September Kansas City wheat closed the day up 21 1/2 cents, while September Chicago wheat was up 22 1/2, and September Minneapolis wheat up 13 3/4 cents. Turning our attention now to the overnight trade, we find September corn trading down 2 3/4 cents at $4.54 1/4 cents. December new crop corn is down 3 cents at $4.77 3/4. August soybeans are trading up 3/4 penny at $11.65 1/2 cents per bushel, with November new crop beans down 3/4 penny at $11.82 1/2. And wheat for September currently down 3/4 penny at $6.52 cents. In the livestock trade, August live cattle closed the day down $2.17 1/2 cents at $230.57 1/2 cents. August lean hogs closed 20 cents lower at 95.67.5, and feeder cattle down $5.90 at 339.35. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.